welcome
to
Masters of Music. I'm Voldemort.
I'm Derek.
And this is episode 10.
Episode 10? Ah!
Cool. This week we have Debby Holiday.
Debby Holiday, an incredible Billboard charting artist, singer, songwriter.
Yes, he's played with everyone, man.
Yep, she's a session musician. She's also sung on stage with Rod Stewart, John Waite, Kiss, all sorts of bands.
Hell yeah, man. And Derek Day.
Yes, I am quite proud to be on her last album, Free to Be, and it's a double album. We actually did a really killer rendition of her father's song, Put a Little Love in Your Heart. We have a snarling electric version of it.
Yep. But we gotta move on because it's time for
Music News! Anyone?
Anything new?
Anything
Maybe?
music? Music muse? Well, and this week, Waldemar got a haircut.
Yeah. In the comments, talk shit, motherfucker.
Should have minded.
See what happens.
Okay, all right. So in music news, world famous actor Machine Gun Kelly. Famous actor Machine Gun Kelly released a song that made it number 8 on alternative Billboard chart. It's doing very well. It has 40 million hits on YouTube. Megan Fox is in the video. They're dating, and it's a cool video. It's interesting. Very alternative, new for the rapper. Travis Barker's producing his album. He's on the track itself. You could hear him do a phase drum solo during the bridge. Oh, wow, damn.
That's how it sounds like.
That's how it sounds, but just more 30-second notes.
Yeah. That's how it sounds like.
And these guys also did, Machine Gun Kelly's breaking out. We all thought he was a rapper. To be honest, me and Waldemar I thought he was a rapper. But he's doing, alternative kind of, I guess, post-emo type music. And him and Travis Barker released a cover back in March of a Paramore song called Misery Business.
Yep.
So, and that has 12 million hits on YouTube and stuff, and that's kind of that was kind of his introduction, as far as also the Motley Crue movie, but now he's breaking out as a rock artist, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of artists use covers to, basically get bigger out there.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about using covers or whatever.
What do I think about artists and covers in general? There's a good side and a bad side to it. There are artists, like you said, that their whole career, like Joe Cocker, his entire career is covers, and he does it really well, and he reinvents them, and he kind of deserves it in a sense.
I think a lot of legends start out with covers,
right?
Like Van Halen, their cover
on their first album,
yeah,
the
Break
Kinks cover.
Da-na-na-na.
You Really Got Me.
Da-na-na-na. Yeah, and fucking Jimi Hendrix. Hey Doe was the fucking cover.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking All Along the Watchtower was the fucking cover. So it's like a lot of badass artists use covers, but they have to reinvent them, I think. I think you can't just do a cover and then it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like a cop-out. I think you have to kind of change it. Like, one of my favorite guys that does covers is Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
And his cover of Billie Jean was fucking amazing. He does a cover of One of Metallica and U2, mixed together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he changes songs. He makes the song different. And he
did Patience just recently, we talked about in another episode. It was really cool his own way.
Yeah, so it's I think if you can reinvent the cover, it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Buckley or whatever.
Jeff Buckley with Hallelujah, that's right. Damn, yeah, I hate bands that just do it to the T. Especially when they record it, too, and release it as a thing. It's all right, cool. It's just a slightly tweaked version of it.
Have fun with the song. Make the song as new to you as like it felt the first time you heard it.
You mentioned Chris Cornell. What are some of your other favorite? Do you have any other favorite covers?
Like artists?
Artists? What are, I don't know, in general?
Yeah, like the people that I like doing covers. I said it before. Chris Cornell, Jeff Buckley, fucking...
Jeff Buckley was a good one, yeah.
Yeah, Richie Kotzen, if anybody knows Richie Kotzen.
Richie Kotzen, yeah, from Winery Dogs.
Yeah, he has a whole...
40 Deuce.
He has an album called Bipolar Blues. You have to check it out. He does a bunch of badass songs. Tobacco Road is one of them. He does also The Thrill Is Gone. Thrill Is Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking kills it. And then there's good artists that do covers, and it's just, if the artist is good, then it's cool. But if you're going for a cop out and trying to make money off it, like that's actually the wrong way to go about it.
Right.
So.
One of our producers of the show says they like, our producer Brendan says he likes the Metallica's version of Last Caress by the Misfits.
Yeah.
That's one cool thing.
And I think he's wrong.
And we all have it, but it's cool. It's a cool little, One of our producers, Arthur Tran, his favorite cover is Children of Bodom's cover of Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah.
It's so heavy. And personally, I love that choice. Arthur loves electric guitar solos.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, that's one of the best guitar solos I've ever heard. It's
fucking
really
amazing. Good. Maybe we could play a snippet. Wow, wow.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to learn that solo. That's such a great solo.
Yeah, that fucking shit's badass.
Yeah, and yeah, Nirvana did, one of their final shows before Kurt killed himself was the Unplugged, and he did Lead Belly's Where Did You Sleep Last Night. You could watch the video. He gives on the last note of that song, it's the last song of that Unplugged concert. He just looks into the, he adds something very theatrical to that song. He looks into the distance and it's like he knows his fate. And it's when you add your persona and your well-being into a song like that, that's how you do it.
Yeah, man. Fucking do it right, bros.
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I can't, I don't know. I can't really compare it so much to the Paramore song. I heard this song. It sounded good, though. I mean,
true, man. Anything with Travis Barker is badass.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. You can leave comments below. What are your favorite covers? Down here in the comments.
Yeah.
Below.
Ooh, check out my cover. I did a cover of Elton John's Bennie and the Jets. You can find it on YouTube or on bandcamp.com. We'll put a little link down there.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the description. It's pretty dope. Debbie's the perfect example. Her father, Jimmy Holiday, was the writer of Put a Little Love in Your Heart. Ba-da-da. And Debbie and I kind of revamped it a bit. We made it go listen to it now. It's really cool. It's just this swampy guitar Stratocaster riff, and it puts a really dark twist to that meaning. Put a little love in your heart. So that's gonna be cool. We should totally talk to her about it.
We'll talk to her about that, but let's get moving because it's time for
Debby Holiday.
Perfect timing because yesterday was our 4-year anniversary of meeting, Derek.
It's so weird. That was weird. We're always on some synchronistic thing, and it's really weird. That's crazy.
No, but I saw you guys also. We were at M.O.M. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, that's where, because I remember being in your presence, but we didn't really chat.
Yeah, because you guys had to move. You guys were playing, and then Derek Smalls played after you guys at the Sennheiser.
Yes.
So it was fucking badass.
My first and only time of kind of chatting with Derek Smalls briefly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was a small amount of time.
There was a smoke, and it's hard to say something, intelligent to him because you want to go, dude, oh my God, you're amazing. You're so much fun. Okay, bye. You just want to say something. Which is kind of what I did.
Yeah, he's a badass. But you're fucking amazing. Your voice is fucking powerhouse. I don't know how else to describe it. It's fucking bad.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
I'm loud as hell. I am loud as hell.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, badass.
So, Debbie, if you will, how you want to?
How did Debbie become Debbie? how did you decide to do music?
My dad was a super successful singer-songwriter. He wrote "Put a Little Love in Your Heart." It was a huge hit, covered by everybody from like Dolly Parton to the Circle Jerks. I mean, that's a span.
Fuck yeah. And you also, as we were talking about it in the intro, you have a badass cover of it. Derek was talking about.
Yeah. That was actually written. My favorite. I love telling this story. I wanted to do something different with it, and Derek was like, "I got this riff in my pocket." So he pulled the riff, and I was like, "Hey, wait!" So I just completely kind of deconstructed "Put a Little Love in Your Heart" because it's always been done either punk or kind of straightforward sappy pop, which isn't kind of my thing, pop, poppy pop. So I wanted to just funk and mess it up so that it wasn't nice anymore. So we're still saying "Put a Little Love in Your Heart," but in sort of a nasty way.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, it really works with those lyrics.
I started singing because my dad made me, basically. Like he was a very opinionated guy. And so I'd be walking around the house like, and I'd, get dragged over to the piano. And you flat. They're like, oh, look, I'm 3.
Damn. Shit, so it
didn't matter. It was like, I know you're 3, you're flat.
Yeah, you had like Mozart's dad as a dad, I guess. He was very, learn the music.
Yeah, and not my real mother, but the woman that raised me, my faux mother, I like to say, was a concert pianist. So it was sort of like, not that I am anywhere near any of that kind of piano playing, but certainly a good ear. So I didn't really have a choice. I tried to resist it. I wanted to be a ballet dancer because we all want to not be our parents for some weird reason. I shall not do music like him.
Yeah.
I tried, and I took ballet class, and I took French because I was going to be a ballerina, And I picked up my first guitar at like 13, and it was over.
Damn.
That's all.
That's badass.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And then like I left home when I was like a little after 16 and started hanging out in rock clubs and pretending I was 21 and got a fake ID. And like I was one of those leather jacket on Sunset Boulevard with my band and our matching leather jackets, That was my life.
Damn. What are you from LA? You're from LA. Right?
Yeah. The mean streets of Beverly Hills.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah. And you left Beverly Hills to be a rocker.
Well, my folks got divorced when I was 13. The whole story is that, let's see, I can say this in 30 seconds or less. Dad had an affair with a woman, my Irish mother, in his 3rd year of marriage with Betty, the woman that raised me. I ended up in foster care. Betty, the woman who raised me, made my dad come get me. And when I was 13, they ended up taking him away because he had some mental issues. And they froze our assets, and I got to be super poor, which is great because it's nice to know everything about life. So grew up super rich and then nothing, learning how to work and be strong. And then, I was living with Betty, my faux mom, and left home and literally got on a bus. And again, I had a friend in the Pacific Palisades, so it wasn't like I had to go to this difficult place. I went to this gorgeous home and I lived there for a couple of months. And then I got my own place by working 3 jobs. And, so I feel really lucky that I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. My first best friend was gay. I just feel like I've gotten to know all these different parts of life, which I think is really important to be an artist.
Yeah. I mean, you can hear it in your voice, like where you come from. Like, your voice is so powerful. There's, even if, like, some parts you don't want to talk about, like, it just comes out. Like, you can hear the soul. Like, it's fucking amazing. Thank you. It's hard for me to find an artist that I like, especially a singer, And just hearing your voice just pops. Like, it's fucking, I don't know. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. And I have to say, that's how I felt about you, Derek, the night we met. I was talking to a couple of really good friends, David Pope and Matt Cowan. We were upstairs at the Jam. And we're like, we're doing the after show cocktail thing. And I heard we weren't after show yet. I was after my performance. And we're talking, and I heard your voice from the stage. We hadn't met. I hadn't seen you. Actually, we did meet at Lucky Strike, but I hadn't heard you perform yet. And I'm talking to my friends. I remember standing there with a cocktail, and I'm like, shh, wait. Shh. And I'm like, I left them and ran to the edge so I could see your performance of Civil War. And it was that, like, there was a whole part of, like, late 90s, early 20s, I feel like, where there was a lot of that singer-songwriter who was only, like, introverted and talking to themselves. And I'm having this experience alone. You can come join me, talk about me. And I'm a fan of performers who are out to the audience and invite everyone to, like, party or feel with them. And that's what you do. Oh. It was that. I was like, he is making you listen. That's what Bowie's my all-time favorite. Like, he could just stand there and make you listen because he was putting it.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, there's a great, actually on Bowie, there's a really cool, wait.
Ooh, coffee break for me.
Yeah.
More coffee.
Derek's going to our VHS tapes for people who are just listening to this podcast because it's also audio.
This is a really cool... Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars.
I'm going glasses for this one. What the dude? What, you have a VHS of that?
Yeah. This was like a famous concert he released as a movie, and
our parents went to that concert.
No, they went to the Glass Spider.
Oh, it wasn't that one.
No, this is like 73 or something.
That, guys. Yeah. Cut this. Okay.
Went to any Bowie show. They get the parent award.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Or maybe this was 82, actually. But anyway, but yeah, there's this, he sings Moon Age Daydream in there. And he does this thing where he's just like, I'm an alligator. And he just says, he like jolts his head. I'm like, whoa. And like, right on. It just, that like, it just reminds me of how you just said about like with Bowie. He just like, he does like these little things. He just makes you like, look, now I'm telling you something. And
like the very last photo that I know of him that was taken was him in this gorgeous suit. It was days before he died. And he was like standing up and just, reaching towards the camera, just ready to go. And I feel like complacency and sort of, introverted performing, the whole idea is to art and artists is to get others engaged in an experience, to me, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw you and like you mentioned, I saw you for the first time ever in Lucky Strike. I think it was 2016 or something. And I was just like, whoa, because I was there. It was my first jam ever in the Hollywood scene. And I think it was just about a year old, maybe less. And I was like watching everyone. I was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. And then I see you. I'm like, oh my God. Like, couldn't believe it. I was like, your voice is like electric. And I can't remember what song you're doing. I think it was like a Tina song, I think. It might have been, We Do This song all the time. I think it was Rolling on the, Proud Mary. It might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been. But
we did that a few times at Lucky Strike, so that's really very possible.
Yeah. Fuck, man. And then I go use the restroom, and your picture's there on the wall in the Lucky Strike in the hallway. I'm like, that's her. And then so I got to meet you really quickly. You're wearing a red flannel, sleeves cut off. It's my favorite Debby Holiday flannel. Actually, in that 4-year picture, I think you're wearing it again. I was like, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I'm always torn between wanting to be like very, feminine and also very rock. So sometimes those worlds clash. And I was a freaking fan of the grunge years. I was so happy that, grunge came along and just kicked the pants off of, the typical rock and roll.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, grunge was so honest and like...
It
really turned things on.
So many of those icons of that era are gone,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, and also, I'm just kind of freeballing here.
Free balling?
Sorry. I don't know.
I was going to say that, but see, I was trying to be ladylike.
Yeah. What about the Bowie head? We have so much Bowie.
We have a lot of Bowie stuff.
This is cool.
Yes.
We just have to show you since you love Bowie like we do. It's almost like I don't like talking about Bowie because I like him so much.
Oh.
It's a Bowie bust. It's like a really heavy bust.
A Bowie bust.
Yeah.
That could cause weird issues. Like I might want to take the Bowie bust to bed with me.
Yeah, you start a whole. There's a whole.
It could get weird.
Have you heard? Speaking of your necklace, have you heard the Black Star album at all? Have you gotten into that at all? Have you seen any videos from there?
I have difficulty listening to it because we know that he knew he was on the way out, and he was still creating thought and positivity, artistry, and it's a tough one to listen to for me because I know that he knew.
Yeah.
It's sort of like watching, obviously, but looking at footage of Chadwick Boseman when you knew he knew the rest of us didn't, but he knew he was dead.
Yeah.
I love that record though, and I love that he went out creating.
Yeah, and he did it his way. I think Tony Visconti, his producer, was like, one thing about Bowie is till the very end, he had to do it his way, and like he was the producer, but Tony was, but Bowie was just like, he said Bowie was just like, it has to be like this. You can't but he said, and to the end, he was like talking about his influences were super modern too. He like loved Kendrick Lamar and stuff. Like, this is cool. Like, I'm taking this influence from this era and this and that. And some of that stuff I'm listening to Black Star and it sounds like 2050 to me, 2050 to me.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
He was always ahead of his time. Always.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the painting's such a great story. And still leaving gaps, though. And don't get me wrong, I actually do really appreciate a lot of country music, but it's really on the nose. It's like, got in my truck and my girl said this, and and it's very... can paint some beautiful pictures, but it's very specific. I think Bowie was the king, quintessentially, of saying a lyric that could spark 5 different concepts in 5 different people's heads, so that you could personalize his lyrics for yourself.
That's freaking art. Yeah, that's my favorite kind of lyricist. Man.
Yeah. Or as Jeff would say, a lyricist.
Oh, Jeff Fedak?
Yeah, he's a lyricist. What an amazing lyricist.
Damn.
Yeah. By the way, you did sing my favorite country song right now. You just...
That I got in my truck?
Yeah. That's my favorite one.
Got in my truck when my girl left me and my dog barked at me.
Damn.
It's funny, though, because I grew to love Nashville, at least, in some country music, because, Derek, I know you know this story. Like, when I was signed to Warner Brothers, I was signed by Irving Azoff, which is freaking amazing, to Giant Records, and I got moved over when Warner Brothers kind of ate his company. I got moved over to Warner Brothers, and they didn't know what to do with this black girl who didn't want to let go of her guitars. It's like, no, I have 2 guitars in my band. I'm not doing softer pop. It's not who you sign. That's not who I'm going to be. Drop me if you want to. So their last-ditch effort is they sent me to Nashville to try to, I call it de-rockify me, like putting me together with some country writers. And we wrote the heaviest rock stuff. It didn't do anything except I made some good friends and grew my appreciation for country music. So it didn't change me at all.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Nashville writers know the truth. They know the truth.
I always say that, like, country music is, like, super, like, right now especially, they're all, like, 80s metal dudes. Like, the guitar players, they're just fucking killing it. Like, everything's badass, but they're like, there's no more 80s metal, so let's move into the country zone and fucking kill it that way.
One of the best songwriters in country, or top songwriters, I spent a lot of time working with, his name is Jeffrey Steele, And he lives in Tennessee now. He has a frickin' accent like he's born and raised there, but by golly, he's born in Burbank, California.
Yeah.
And he was in an 80s heavy metal band. And I think they were called Boy, I think. And he moved to Nashville and, kicked ass there. So, yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the cool thing about music. That's why it's always been so surprising to me when I had the CEO, literally the CEO of Giant Records, sit me down with a Billboard magazine and open it and say, look, there are no women in rock right now, let alone black women in rock. And I've always had to, remind people about Big Mama Thornton and, who wrote Hound Dog and, so many early creators of rock and roll. First of all, it came from the blues, asked all the rockers who've been sued.
Yeah.
But, so it's always been so strange to me that I really had to fight. It's probably one of the reasons I'm so loud. Having a sound man walk up and be like, don't forget, hon, you need to sing directly into the microphone. I'm like, oh, gee, thanks. Let me stand feet from the microphone and you're still going to hear me. It's like when adversity makes you get stronger. And again, that's another great thing about artistry and being an artist is that you take the things that could make you smaller and have them create a bigger, better you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm also not a fan. I'm not a fan of the whole starving artist and you have to go through really shitty times to be a great artist. I think that's a self-destructive, like a way to make art, to approve artists messing themselves up when they don't have to. You can be a healthy, active, taking care of your body and your spirit and your mind artist and still create amazing art without having to destroy yourself.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like,
love that.
We always want to see the bad happen. Like, that's why people are like let's go to that fucking movie, like the Joker, right? They just like seeing traumatized, fucked up people, and then they're like, oh my god, it's such a beautiful movie, and he's so fucked up. Or like Kurt Cobain, I love his songs, and he killed himself. Like, all of this stuff is like, you love the fucked up parts. Nobody wanted to help them when they could. Like, they were like, and then even the artists now, I know people that are like, yeah, I have to be fucked up, or I have to drink, or I have to do this, or drugs is the way, like, but they're not living life. And then a lot of them can't even still create because they're getting too fucked up because they believe they have to live in that life, that they suck because of that life that they're living. That's the only way. Yeah.
Right. Like, they give so much, which is great. And I realize that there's the argument that, like, if I wasn't, if someone wasn't that messed up or that high or whatever, they might not have created the same way. And I still disagree. I think they would have created the same way. They would still be creating now.
Yeah.
Instead of being gone,
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's also on another note. Like, I hate it when people say, like, oh, like an example, like Led Zeppelin 4 was their best album, and like, oh, Led Zeppelin 5 is their worst album, or something, something like that. And I'm like, dude, they're a band. That's like their journey. That's their story. You can't just say like, oh, like, like this part of someone's life sucked compared to the rest of their, like, no, that's their whole like life. Like, don't judge it. It's not different, Well, at least back in those days, you could. Nowadays people release singles for albums, so it's not really. It's just a big ass single. So now you can judge it like, oh yeah, it's not as. But yeah.
I'm thinking of albums. I've gone back and I'm doing that again. I've been listening to entire albums because that's kind of how the artist intended for you to listen, to take you on a journey of where the songs are going. So I'm just listening to Songs in the Key of Life. The whole record, and it's like, it's so humbling. It's so like, I don't do anything. It's good. It's like, because it's such a brilliant record with so many amazing lyrics that you think you heard the best lyrics, and then the next song starts. There we go.
I have it on vinyl. It's such a good freaking. He's so trippy looking. He's like, oh, I'm sure we have camera. We have 3 cameras here. I'm gonna show it to the camera. Songs in the Key of Life. Damn, yeah, seriously. What? Oh, such a great album. And there's bangers on there too. There's like pop songs on there.
Oh yeah, and especially in the days of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. I forget the year that came out. What year was that?
I think
have that there.
He was 26 years old, and 76.
76, and at the end of, and I can't remember the name of the song right now, he's got groups of children, who was the first man? A black man. And who was the first one? A brown man. A yellow woman. It's like he's got kids preaching positivity about different colors in 76, and you could literally take that song and put it on right now because we still need to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Yeah, such a wow. Great album, man.
Yeah, and listening to a whole record is like, I don't know, because we have gotten so single.
Yeah.
We're kind of, what's their new single?
Just does that.
Focus.
Let's see. We're gonna switch out a cable.
Oh yeah, 1 second. We're having a little connection problem.
Well, we got double audio, anyways.
What's that mean?
That means we got audio from there.
Ooh, can you say something, Debbie?
Blah blah blah.
Oh man, that's way
Finally
better. That's a lot better. You're clear. It's just every now and then it'll cut. So I guess I just need a new cable.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you, Arthur, our producer. We have 2 producers here. We're socially distant and.
Does Derek always fuck up gigs with you?
Actually,
does he always fuck up, like break a string or maybe
I do have
cut out a few times?
I do a lot, actually.
You know what? I gotta say, tried and true friend. It seems like 15 years ago now. Actually, it seems like a year ago, but it was only a few months ago. Long story short, I'm in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with Forrest, my boyfriend / drummer for my band. And I won't say names or blame anyone, but the people who were supposed to learn our music did not. And it might have been nobody to blame. It just didn't work out. So I pick up the phone, call Derek. I explain the situation. To save me some money, he takes a 14-hour flight to get there within 24 hours to help teach my band and play lead guitar and sing to help out. So, I mean, talk about a true musical friend. That was like that. No one believed he was there so fast, and then got there with such a positive attitude. I'm like, hey, you just like traveled. Do you want to chill for a while? And he's like, no, let's go, let's do it. Come on. It's spring. So yeah, no, he's been great about always, one of the first ones to show up for rehearsals and knows his shit. No attitude. No. Do you know how important I am? That's one thing I cannot stand with musicians. Like, we all work our asses off. We all try really hard. Nobody's more important or better than the other, unless you're David Bowie. Other than that.
Yeah, there's just one guy. That's it.
This is one guy.
Yeah. Man, yeah, oh, that was awesome. That was I looked at that as the best opportunity ever because you always find a way to make me just grow as an artist and a musician, and that was my first. I mean, I'm a leader of my band and stuff, and bands I've been in, but that was my first time really being like an MD kind of thing, musical director. Kind of a little bit, just kind of like helping out and like kind of giving people parts a little, like do this a little bit, and that was cool.
Really great. You were great at. There's really the worst way to learn something is to have someone. I don't believe in like negative reinforcement teaching. Like make someone fear you and then they'll do a good job. Art is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, yeah. And so it was great that when you were showing the other guitar player, you like helped him set up some pedals and, he walked away feeling good about it instead of feeling bad. And there's enough shit to feel bad about musicians. That was a great example of musicians sticking together.
Yeah, music just brought everyone together. 2 different countries.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to do another Debbie's Den just for How are you doing that weekly still?
No, I had to take a little break from it because it was actually getting a little. I also felt like just with the election getting so close, I wanted to join some causes and sort of focus on that for a minute. I had one planned for this coming Monday, and then I just changed it to Tuesday because the VP debates are on.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah. Not only did I not want to compete, I want to watch them. So.
Cool. So you're doing it tomorrow?
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
It's
Ah!
tomorrow.
Oh, yes, because we'll be yes, you're doing it tomorrow because we're releasing
So
this.
everybody, watch it tomorrow.
October 8th, 6 p.m. on my Facebook.
Yeah.
6 p.m. PST on Debby Holiday's Facebook.
I was wondering, like, what was your first big break? Like, what would you say would be like a break for you? Because a lot of artists don't, like, for us, like, when we got signed, it was out of nowhere. You know, like, 6 months being a band, and then we got signed because of a fucking thing in, like, LA Weekly. Like, it was out of nowhere. It's crazy.
I think where I felt like they were sort of accolades that counted, I think they're gone. There was a magazine called Music Connection.
Yeah, I love Music Connection.
Found?
Yeah, they are. They just did an article. They just did an article, actually. Or they do an article. I'm working on getting on there, actually, for my latest single.
Okay, that would be great. The very first time that I felt like I put out a record called Splitting Atoms that my ex-husband, Brian Corbett, and Jeff Vidak and put together in this garage. One of those where, like, you borrow 58s and 57s from friends, and you duct tape them to the ceiling because you don't have boom mics. Yeah. And like we did my first record that way in a garage and released it on my own label. And I remember Music Connection. Like, I forget what the scores are, but, it was like maybe 0 to 5, and I got like a 4.8 and it had a little Richter scale on it. And I started getting so many phone calls from, prospective people who were interested, and I ended up getting my first publishing deal that way with Shankman, de Blasio, and Molina. And it was a big publishing deal, and I remember that being the first time I was like, oh, hey, snap, snap. Walking into Gazzari's or the Whiskey at that time and like, hey, we saw your review of your record. And I got a publishing deal. That was the first time I was like, that had nothing to do with my dad. There was no like, oh, because of him. It was a crappy little record I put together with two of my best friends with zero money and, borrowed ADAT machines. That was when I first learned how to, work Pro Tools and started recording. It was ADATs back then. So that was the first time I felt like, okay, there's a little bit of confidence boost.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right now, I don't know. It's hard to do that anymore. Like, magazines, do people read them? I don't know. Maybe if some TikTok star says, I like this song, and then boom, you're all over TikTok or something.
Yeah, it's really, there's so much of that, like, I think, what was the original quote? Everybody gets their 10 minutes or 5 minutes of fame or something. Now it's like milliseconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, whoop, next one. Next one. Like, going viral. It's like, but did you like the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, viral used to be bad things.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah, now
it still is.
Yeah, it still is, yeah. Yeah, man. That's so cool. For me, I felt like when we wrote Face Me together. Go listen to it. Now everybody's on iTunes, Spotify. And when we recorded it, I felt like we recorded at Doghouse Studios, and Roger Carter played drums on it. We got Philip Bino on bass, Paul Trudeau from Billy Idol on keys. And then you produced it, and I was like, this is kind of like my big break right here. Because the last thing I recorded, similar to you, it was just like in a garage with some duct tape and But that was the first time I was like, I'm in a studio, and this is happening, and we did it, and we put it out, and people loved it. It was like, and then right after that, or not even right after that, but like soon after that, that's when I started going on tour, like having tours, like Nugent, Living Color. I was like, whoa, and I had this thing to push out, and that was a freaking big break for me.
Ooh, you had some great tours. My God, some really great tours, and they will be coming back.
They'll be coming back, yeah, for all of us. Come on, let's go back. Okay. Final five.
The final five.
Here we go.
Number one.
I feel like it's a sports ball question. The final five.
The final five.
Welcome to this week's sports ball.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most important piece of gear, secret weapon, while on tour or in the studio?
So, as a vocalist or whatever.
Okay, I would say, I don't know about piece of gear, but I would say Pro Tools. Because I love that it's so easy for me. Last night, after the debates, I was pissed off. I was not in a good mood, so I came into my little studio here, and I pulled the microphone over, and I turned on Pro Tools, and I just sang. I don't know if it's even going to be a song, but it's recorded. How I felt is recorded. I got some lyrics out. I got some melodies out. So I'd say that's like secret weapon. Or second, I was going to say a really great engineer like Zach Darling.
Yep. Dave Darling's cousin.
Yeah, Zach
knows.
knows.
Nephew.
I'll write something and I'll send it over to him to like, hey, because I can't, nowadays you kind of should do, just so it sounds right, you have to do a little bit of auto-tune. You just, even if you're not flat, just to get the sound current.
Yep.
I hate doing it. I can't do it. So I can just send it off to him and have him do it. That seems like a secret weapon. That to have this amazing engineer who does the shit you don't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good tip for like young songwriters and singers, that even if you don't need it, put a little bit of auto-tune on it. It's just a modern sound. Yeah. Like that's what they did on our album, and it doesn't sound like auto-tune, but it's there just very little just because it makes people feel it differently.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's sweeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do number two?
Okay, so this one is Derek's favorite because he likes to hear crazy stuff. What is the most memorable or crazy story from the road?
From the road.
You didn't have to be too crazy. Too crazy. Some people don't want to say crazy things.
On tour with Rod Stewart, the three background singers, well, there were actually four, but the three chicks, we did everything we could to just sort of avoid some of the shenanigans. We'll call them shenanigans that were going on. And I remember we kind of got talked into going to a party. We were in New York. We were hubbed in New York, and we were doing a bunch of big TV shows. But we were all in these great hotels in New York. And we went to a party at like, midnight or something, which is early in New York. And we walked in, and it was like one of those rooftop, penthouse. And it was like Sodom and Gomorrah, a freaking scene of like there was coke and sex and like the three of us walking in and just literally feeling like I'm afraid to even step 2 steps further into this room. And the three of us looked at each other and then we backed away. We shut the door and took a cab back to the hotel. Crazy because the level of shit going on in one hotel room or one penthouse was so, like, I had never, you've seen stuff happen on buses and, backstage stuff, whatever, but this was like all in the same room. It was like every bizarre shit. It was like, is that a monkey? What the hell?
God. No, that's so crazy to see in front of you. People, like you said, it's recreated in movies, but when you're there, it's like, this is not real, right? I haven't seen that shit. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I've been to parties where there's specific rooms for that stuff, and I don't go in there because I don't think I can take it. just like a glimpse, we like, fuck, this might need therapy or something. Just be, can I go back?
Right.
It's like weird.
There was that same tour. We ended up ending it at the Playboy Mansion at a birthday party for Howard Stern.
Oh yeah, he just posted that too on his Instagram page.
And same thing. It's like I was told by some of the bunnies, like, sweetie, do yourself a favor. There are 3 rooms down here. No one goes in those unless there's a certain purpose. And I don't think you'll have that purpose. So stay away.
Oh. Damn.
Of course, then you have to go find out what's in that room. I didn't, but...
Yeah.
God. Wow, she's nice.
There's some nice bunnies.
She was very sweet.
That's good.
Man, that's so crazy.
Okay.
I didn't want to take off my headphones because that was a good story. But now I have to.
Yeah, that was hot.
Nah, it's so goddamn hot. But I was like, goddamn.
I know. I've got my little handy dandy fan right next to me.
Lovely.
Yeah, we're in the garage with 2 other dudes. They're not wearing clothes.
It's their own little Playboy mansion.
Yeah.
Their own little Playboy mansion.
Yeah.
Okay, question number on that segue.
All right.
My favorite question, actually, for real, is what are your tips for songwriting?
Oh, wow. Tips. To really have it ring true and to never write songs because someone told you to write that kind of a song. Again, being signed to Warner Brothers, it was a constant battle of like, hey, can you write a song that sounds like blah, blah, blah? Can you write a song that sounds like blah, blah, blah? I mean, if you went to elasticizing, I don't think that's a word, just turning yourself into someone else's vision of you, you're no longer you. You're this amalgamation of other people's thoughts. Yeah. And so just stay true to what you do. And even if, 100 people tell you, well, that's not going to sell, or, most of the biggest artists on the planet were told they were never going to get anywhere. Yeah, stay true. Just write what's real to you, not what someone tells you should be.
I love that.
Yeah, and I always think, like, that's always good at the end because no matter what, you'll still be happy with what happens, right?
Super important.
Yeah.
I one of the reasons I got dropped is that they wanted me to drop my entire band. I was married at the time. My guitar player was my husband. Jeff Fedak was in the band. Orlando Sims, rest in peace, was my bass player. And he was a black man that played rock and roll. And he'd already been dumped from a band that had gotten signed. And they let him go because they didn't want a black bass player. So I was not about to do that to him again, to be signed and then say, sorry, I'm going to have to drop you. So I refused. And that's one of the reasons I got dropped is I stuck by my Yeah.
Integrity. I love that.
Yeah. I get to sleep at night.
Yeah.
4.
All right.
What is your favorite lick or technique that has helped your playing? And maybe playing is vocalizing or recording or whatever.
For me, I think it's really important to, as a vocalist, I sing along to everybody I can. Try to translate it, not to steal the vibe, but to just shift your voice into different places. I remember learning Jesus Christ Pose by Soundgarden, and it took me a while to figure out how to, how to shift sound through the front of my face to create that kind of volume.
Yeah.
So it was so I would say learning other people's licks for guitar players and learning other people's, I'll sing along to Barbra Streisand, sing along to get some clear tones and to get some gravelly tones. Don't just sing one style of music, even if you only record one style.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I love that. That's good. I used to I got into singing by singing solos I was like, I just like singing along to guitar solos, and then I kind of created like a tone for me. I like emulate how Clapton sounded. Like,
That's so cool.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, but I really try to like impersonate them, and it kind of turned into like a thing. And then and like what you said, like singers, like yes, every singer. My dad has pointed this out too, because he kind of likes to research different singers, like, Bowie and Jagger and stuff. They're all actors, and so they're really good impersonators. Every singer can do like 100 impersonations, and it's just cool.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely give my dad some credit for that. He was great at. There was so much different kind of music playing in my house, and I hear him sing along, and then I try to sing along to Sam Cooke, which of course, as a 7-year-old, I was not going to sound like Sam Cooke, but it helps you to sort of hone into different tones, and I think it also, again, I feel like when you sing and learn about or play other kinds of music, that you can feel where other people are coming from.
Good, yeah. So singing is like just a perfect metaphor. Or music can be so metaphorical just so many times, just like putting yourself in other people's being. Here it is, the last question. What is the best advice you would give a person looking to do what you do?
Probably pretty similar to what I've already said, which is stay true to who you are. There are, you and I know, Eric, have had these conversations a lot. I think when someone's charismatic on stage like you are, you're going to get 700 different people all telling you who you should be and how you should write and how you should dress and what you should say. And it can make you insane. And I think it's great when someone has your best interest at heart and maybe they give you a suggestion. But that suggestion, you take it with a grain of salt, see if any of it works for you, and then maybe incorporate that. But stay true to what the reason you started doing music in the first place. Did you have something to say? Does it just does it light up your life? Whatever it is, but not listening necessarily. There's a Wayne Dyer quote. I think it's to be independent of the good opinion of others.
Damn.
Yeah, that's awesome. Be independent of the good opinion as opposed to.
Yeah, everyone has a good opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they see something special and they want to be a part of it, I suppose.
Right, I've seen people do that to you. I've seen them like, you should do this, you should do that, you should do it. It's like, back the heck off this guy, people. Like, let him just do, like, yes, if you ask, if you're like, hey, what's your opinion of this song or whatever, but I've seen people, just sort of swarm around you. It's like it's just like, okay, great, thanks, and then try to tune some of it out so that you stay the thing that they were attracted to in the first place.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I just remember playing at bars is the worst. Because then all the drunk people come up to you, he's like, that was so awesome, but it would be more awesome if you did this.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did, I won't even say the name of the place, but I did cover tunes, like, as a gig, like, for that long, a few years ago. In a, not like Ultimate Jam Night where you get up and you get to rock.
Right.
It was a very upscale supper club in Beverly Hills.
Right.
And, by 1:15, there's all these drunk, wealthy people, especially men, coming up to you and telling you what you should sing. And it's like, that's not in our set. Well, just learn it. Like, yeah, let me just go ahead and learn that song I've never heard that you're suggesting. Or, yeah, it's like, we're not automatrons, so you just put a quarter in and wind us up and let us do our thing. It's like we're all very unique and should be. So
yeah, it's
a thin line. You want to learn some cover stuff because every time you learn somebody else's great music, you grow. But also, you still want to maintain your own.
Yep. Yes.
That's fucking badass. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh man. Okay, well,
yeah.
Thank you so much, Debbie. This was
You
awesome.
get that.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Badass.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, we wanted to ask you earlier, but Derek's like, I'm working with her. I want to make sure we do a good job right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask her.
Yeah, straight up. I really wanted to make sure we had our shit together. Like, I don't want to have Debbie on, like, until we have our shit. Like, we are pretty good. Like, I don't, yeah. And we still need to get our shit together. But you're way up here for me. So I'm like, okay, we got to make sure we deserve to have Debbie on real quick. So thank you for your patience.
This was a blast, and I got to see your faces. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You get to hang out.
Goodbye, Debbie Holiday. Debbie Holiday.
Yo! Badass!
Thank you so much, Debbie Holiday.
Yeah, you're awesome. We loved having you on here.
Yes, and I look forward to our next gig together.
Thanks for watching the show. Next week we got another badass artist, so stick around. Bye.
Bye.